Hi, Dave Brown here, that old hillbilly that took his crazy family of wife and 5 kids up to 20 acres on top of a mountain and learned how to survive up there. How we built homes and our gardens and solar, wind generators, and a spring for our water, and pens for our animals and stuff like that. How we've become totally self-sufficient in a land of economics. Anyway, got another message, another email asking me if I had any information about concentration camps and things of that nature. And Bill, yep, I certainly have. I have pictures of concentration camps here just west of Utah Lake here in Utah. I've heard that there's a couple of others around here, but I haven't seen them. The one across from Utah Lake I've actually taken pictures of. I've walked on it. I've walked around it. It's about 600 acres or something like that. It has concertina wire around the perimeter with the wire facing in to keep people from climbing out. It has about a 30-foot berm of dirt all the way around this structure. And then inside that you have, I'm not quite sure how many acres, but you have a fence that's probably 60 feet high with rolled concertina wire on top. And then you have buildings all the way around and stuff like that. I'm suspecting in order to get that kind of dirt, you had to create some enormous amount of digging underneath to put in buildings and so forth. So, yeah, Bill, I have seen these concentration camps. And to make things worse, I'm going to go through 2 real quick little scenarios of things that I've personally seen. I used to own the restaurant down here at the airport. And a business I wouldn't suggest too many people go into. It's labor intensive. But until my daughter died, we had this restaurant for a long time. And one of the events that happened was while I was sitting there, feeding and sitting there a little relaxed time, looked out the window. And on that morning, this was about, 4 years ago, 5 years ago, 2 C-47s landed, all in the Army Green. They taxied over to where the restaurant is and opened the back door, and out came a batch of military people. European uniforms and stuff. I looked at a little close, got the binoculars out. They were Russians. There was probably around 35 to 40 per plane. They offloaded, one of them, there was a star general on each airplane, loaded into Army buses and in a matter of seconds, and I mean they were gone. I waited for the pilots to show up, and I asked them, I said, so what are you doing hauling Russians around? And his answer was, and this was during the time, I think you'll remember when we said that we would get rid of all of our missiles and nukes from Europe if Russia would do the same. No, they never did, but it was about that time. And the pilot told me, he says, well, he said, these Russians are on a sightseeing tour of southern Utah, Nevada, Arizona, and I was just flabbergasted. I said, so where are they going? And he basically said, anywhere they want to go. They're going to visit the dams. They're going to visit all of the local Army depots, National Guard places, strategical areas that they want to go to. They can photograph, map, write, whatever. They were given free access to everything in this general vicinity, including Las Vegas. So it was a rather interesting conversation. So what are they doing here? Why are they looking at everything in southern Utah for pre-invasion? I don't know. I'm totally at a loss as why they're here. Second piece of information. A buddy and I were another Vietnam crazy, dysfunctional, paranoid Vietnam veteran, we're sitting in a restaurant here in southern Utah, a Chinese restaurant, and we're just eating our rice and general conversation when from the back of the restaurant, out of the kitchen area, this guy comes out. Definitely Chinese, but we both looked at him because he had an aura of, you know, he was military. You know, military people can generally see or spot other people who are military. They just act different. They walk different. They conduct themselves different. This guy was an officer. And he had scrolls of maps and stuff under his arms. And he went into the back room, or to the back of the restaurant, and sat at a booth and scrolled out all of these maps. Well, my buddy and I are looking at ourselves and looking at this military officer, Chinese guy, going through all of the maps, writing, scribbling, keeping notes, drawing circles around the maps and things like that, and wondering, what the heck is this guy doing? So he was by the bathroom, so my buddy and I each took turns going to the bathroom and then looking down as we walked by to see what kind of maps he's looking at. And yeah, there were topo maps of this area. Why? And then we started being dysfunctional and paranoid. We said, isn't that interesting that there are so many Chinese restaurants all over this country, a couple of them in every city? What would happen if they were not just entrepreneurs, but actually military, bringing people in from China? I don't know about any of you guys in your Chinese restaurant, but it seems like every month or two, all of the personnel, all of the waitresses and waiters and cooks, they're all different. What happened to them? Where do they live? I don't know. But every month or two, we get a whole new crop of Chinese immigrants trying to learn English. I don't know if they go back home. I don't know if they stay here or they transfer to another location. But isn't it paranoid interesting that if China ever decided that they wanted to land in California and push east, they have all of these people already here, already cloaked, and could very easily, with a topo map and so forth, disable our electricity, our gas, our water, who knows what. Isn't that amazing? I wonder if that could ever happen. Of course, I'm just a crazy Vietnam vet, paranoid. But that's what we had. That's what I wanted to give to you. You figure it out. I'm just giving you some information. If you need to get a hold of me, got a question for this old hillbilly, you know, get onto my email. I'd be glad to, you know, talk about whatever it is you want to do. There's a whole gamut of these different tapes about how we survived and how we live on our property, the kids, some of the things that we designed and made, put together so that we could design or live. Anyway, God bless. And if you figure this out, let me know.